Chaldia. It's now the centre of the fighting in Homs. This sound is everywhere, as are these sights. This week in Homs, the UN are rarely seen and there is no ceasefire. This is waste disposal. To get from one place to another, it's sometimes safer to go through, not round the houses. The Free Syrian Army holds Chaldia. They say they're protecting people from government forces. But there's limited protection from sniper fire. There's two Syrian army snipers at the very end of this street, one positioned on each side of it. So they've put the tarpaulin right across the street to hide the line of sight, and then these concrete walls in a chicane so that cars can at least drive through it and then accelerate to the left or right. But there's many streets when there isn't this sort of protection, and then there's only one way to cross. Run for your life. This is how they live now. There's still time for acts of kindness. I asked this boy 3 times not to cross, but he wants to warn the stranger. Nidal tells us her home was destroyed by 4 rockets fired by government forces. I have no terrorists in my house, she says, but it's been destroyed. We go to see the commander of the rebel forces.
Oh my God.
It's not easy. This is front-line scouting for government men. They're close. We find Commander Abdul Razak Tlas at Homs National Hospital. His men took it last month, at some cost. It's a victory and a loss.
The Syrian army is still breaching the ceasefire plan, but the Free Syrian Army remains committed to the ceasefire, and we are in control of most of Chaldia and other districts in Homs.
الجيش الحر يحتل العديد من الجبهات. الله أكبر. النصر يم الشهادة والاثنين اختار يا يما.
They sing, "We left the Syrian army to join the rebels, and we will die for our cause." They may get their wish. The UN is talking peace, no one else is.
Tim's back in the capital, Damascus now, and that trip to Homs looked like one of those rare moments where you actually managed to elude your government minders.
We went on our own and by a circuitous route managed to get into those districts which we name. Interesting to see Commander Tlas there, Jeremy. Reports of his death in shelling 2 weeks ago, which were reported in various media in this region, clearly quite exaggerated. An amazing experience insofar as I've been around a little bit, but I wasn't aware of the scale of the destruction in the city and over how widespread an area it was. I think most of us thought that the worst hit area was Bab Amra, but I think actually this is a more widespread destruction and possibly hit just as hard, but over a wider area. Talking about minders, we were in Damascus today, and we filmed a very rare event, which was a demonstration actually right in the city centre. It started just by the Saladin statue, moved across to a courthouse. They were holding up banners saying, "Please release political prisoners." Now, the police say, look, you didn't have a licence, that's how we closed it down. Protesters would say, well, you never give us licences. So, potentially that's in breach breach of the ceasefire, not the ceasefire, the Kofi Annan plan, because they're supposed to be allowed to demonstrate. Our camera was ripped out of the hands of our cameraman, Nathan Hale, and confiscated, and we were invited to come into an office for about an hour and discuss the matter. I have to say that once tempers cooled, the Syrian authorities were very polite. There was a discussion about us deleting our footage. We refused, and they said, okay, you have the right to take this footage and to do what you want with it. I think it's important to say that. They wanted us to delete it, but when we said we wouldn't, they said, okay, off you go. So many, many horrible things happen in this country, but I think you have to put today's event into the context of a jumpy police force that's getting suicide bombed on a regular basis, and is an instinctive reaction when they see media on the streets filming. I mean, this is an Arab nation, they're not used to it, and they acted instinctively. Nevertheless, the protest was not allowed to go ahead.